Yes, children, let us get back to the video. There was some problem in the previous video, so it got stuck in between. We were just discussing about the characteristics of demand. So whenever we say demand is always related to price. See, when the price is 5 rupees, I demand, for example, take price of tomatoes. When the price of tomato is just 10 rupees per kg, I might buy 3 kgs. When the price of tomatoes increases to 30 rupees, will I buy 3 kgs or 4 kgs? Definitely no. I might buy less units only. So always demand is related to price. Next is time. Demand always means demand per unit of time, per day, per week, per month, per year. Say demand always is associated at what time you need the commodity. See, when you are a kid, you might have demanded certain types of commodity. When you grow up, your demand for commodities changes. And as you grow, as time progresses, the demand for commodities keeps on changing. Next is market. The demand is always related to the market, buyers and sellers. Whenever we say demand, there should be buyers to buy the product at that particular price, and there should be sellers also to sell the product at that particular price. So market is also needed whenever we talk of demand. Next is amount. Demand is always a specific quantity which a consumer is willing to purchase. See, again, when the price is 30 rupees, a price of tomato is 30 rupees, there is certain quantity of commodity I am willing to buy. If it is 30 rupees, I might buy 2 kgs only. Suppose if it is 10 rupees, I might buy 5 kgs. Okay, so the quantity is one more important aspect which decides the demand for a commodity. Again, next is demand function. I told you demand primarily depends upon price of the commodity. So to say the demand for a commodity, I can say demand as a function of price. Okay, so mathematically the demand function can be written as D is equal to F of P. D refers to demand, F refers to function of, and P refers to price. Again, one more important law in economics is next to law of DMU, the next important law is law of demand. Law of demand, very simple law and very, very important law also. Primarily, this law was stated by Augustin Carnot in the year 1838. Later on, it was refined and perfected by Alfred Marshall. Let us see what the law says. The quantity demanded increases with a fall in price and diminishes with a rise in price. Very simple, though it might look a little tricky. To understand the meaning of the definition is very, very simple. It was given by Alfred Marshall. He says the quantity demanded increases when with a fall in price. When there is a fall in price, the quantity that you demand increases. You can take the example of tomato itself, what I told you now. And diminishes with a rise in price. Here diminishes refers to quantity demanded only. The quantity demanded diminishes, that is, it reduces when with a rise in price. When the price rises, automatically the quantity demanded, what happens? It falls down. This is a simple definition given by Marshall. That is, quantity demanded increases when with a fall in price, and it diminishes with a rise in price. It was given by Marshall. There is one more definition given by Samuelson. Law of demand states that people will buy more when at lower prices. Okay, and buy less at high prices. Very simple definition. Okay, what people do normally, they will buy more when the prices are low. Okay, and they will buy less when the prices are higher. Other things remaining same. This condition is applicable only under certain conditions, when certain things remain same. What are the certain things that remain same? Those are the assumptions. Okay, I told you, whenever a law is being propounded, the law will hold good only under certain conditions. What are those conditions? Or other things remaining same. What are they? The income of the consumer remains constant. Okay, the taste, habit, preference of the consumer will remain constant. Okay, see, while in the process of consumption, suppose for example, if the income of the consumer increases, what will happen to the quantity that he buys? That also will increase, is it? So, for the law of demand to hold good, income should remain constant. The taste of the consumer should remain constant. His habit should not change. His preferences should not change. All those should remain constant. Next thing is price of other related goods should not change. See, for example, in one, let us take tomatoes itself, let us take. Okay, see the price of country tomato. is 50 rupees. The price of the Bangalore tomato, that is what do you call it as apple tomatoes, is 10 rupees. Which one will you buy? Both are related goods only. Both are tomatoes only. Both serve the same purpose. Now, I will move on. All these days, I have been buying only country tomatoes. Now, what I will do? I will, just because the price has increased to 50 rupees, I will not buy it. Rather, I will go to the alternative. Here, what is the assumption saying? The price of other related goods should not change. Okay, so the related goods price should not change. Then next is there should be no substitute in the commodity for in study. I have taken tomatoes as an example. No, there should not be any other substitute for tomatoes in the market. Next, demand for commodity should be continuous. You should continuously keep buying the commodities. There should not be any change in the quality of the commodity. The quality of the commodities should not change. See, for many times we might have observed during the morning time, when you go to the Ulavar Sandai, the vegetables will be very fresh. Okay, and the price also will be on the higher side. As day progresses, okay, the vegetables also, because in the x-axis I have taken quantity demanded, in the y-axis I have taken price, which is measured in rupees. Now, when the price is 5, 1 unit is demanded. When the price is 4, 2 units are demanded. Just plot the points. Okay, and when you join it, you will get a downward sloping demand curve. Okay, this is how you need to convert the table into a graph. When the price is 3, what is the number of units bought? It is 3. Plot the point here. When the price is reduced to 2, the number of quantity demanded is 4. Just plot it at this point. When the price is 1, I buy 5 units of commodities here. So when you join these points together, you get a downward sloping demand curve. Okay. All these are the explanation. Whatever I have told you is given in the textbook as explanation. Okay. Now again, what is the nature of the demand curve? It is a downward sloping curve. It is a negative curve. Otherwise, it shows the inverse relationship between two variables. Okay. When the price expands, demand contracts. When the price contracts, the demand expands. That's all. Next is market demand for a commodity. See here, when you take market, there will be more number of consumers. Consumer A demands this much unit. His demand curve will be. Let us see the market demand curve for a commodity. See, for a commodity, let us take the tomatoes itself as an example. Here, this is the demand curve of consumer A. The nature of the demand curve for A will be like this. For B, it can be like this also, because all these are hypothetical. Hypothetical means something which can be correct or need not be correct. Okay, but basically all of us, we tend to act by law of demand only. For consumer C, the curve will be like this. For consumer D, the curve will be another way. So, market demand curve is nothing but adding up of all these demands and price, you arrive at a demand curve. That will also be downward sloping only. Okay. See, when you see here market demand curve for commodity, how do you arrive at? By adding the quantum demanded of a commodity by all the individuals in the market. Now we have taken only 3 individuals. When I add up all the quantity demanded by all these commodity individuals, I get the market demand. Okay. In the diagram, the final demand curve represents addition of the demand curves A, B, C. When I add consumer A's, B's and C's, I get this market demand curve. So here the price is 3. Just add up the prices. Okay, and the market demand is this much. And when the price is 1, the market demand is this much for A, B and C. So you get like this. And even in the individual case, the demand curve was downward sloping. The market demand curve is also a downward sloping demand curve. And with respect to the determinants of demand, I think we saw this in the previous video itself. Now let us go to the exceptions. Exceptions means what? In Tamil you say Vidhi Vilakku, something which will not happen. See, there is a law, but there are certain exceptions to the law. In which case, where the demand curve will be an upward sloping demand curve. When will this happen? Okay, see, for example, the price of, let us take for example, when the price is P1, the quantity demanded is Q1. When the price is P2, the quantity demanded increases. In which case, the demand curve will be an upward sloping curve. Okay, now when such things will happen? Okay, see, for example, take the example of diamonds. When the price of diamonds are very low, okay, rich people will not buy it. Because rich people buy diamonds just because the price is high. Because they wanted to show themselves what different from others, exceptional to others. So the demand for diamonds are more because the price is high. The demand for Audi is more because the price